Right, the Premier League season is less than a week away from kicking off, and despite the signings of Esteval, João Pedro, Liam Delap and Jamie Gittins, I believe that Chelsea still have more business to do. I mean, we've got at least, 4 permanent departures still to go through, in my opinion. The potential of our starting place number 9 for the last few seasons and his understudy in those last few seasons, both leaving the club this summer. And now, with the news, the devastating blow that Levi Colwill will be out for potentially the entire season, we are getting briefings that we could be getting Garnacho and possibly Javi Simmons, when I believe that we should be getting briefings that we are looking to fill holes in way more obvious areas. So I think that this is the prime opportunity to tell you lot exactly what I feel that Chelsea need to do between now and the end of the transfer window if we are to seriously compete this season. But people, before we get into all that, welcome back to the Joey Knight podcast. If you are not already subscribed to the channel and you like the content and you want to see more from myself, then please do that. Yesterday, I made a video explaining exactly why I feel that Chelsea are onto something big this year, whether that's a Premier League title, whether that's a Champions League title, but regardless, I need you to go and watch it because YouTube are not playing ball with me. They've restricted the video. They've made it so that you need to log in to be able to watch it or something like that. So I'm going to link it in the description to this one. But without any further ado, smash a like on this video and let's get into it. Right, so straight off the back, I think this is what we're looking at in terms of a strongest possible Chelsea starting lineup right now. And I'll be honest, I think that it is a great team. It's a team that on any given day can go and beat the bigger sides, in my opinion, but there are still a lot of areas of concern in this team, which lead me to believe that, I don't know, it's not at this second in time a team that I would say are destined to go and win a Premier League title. I also wouldn't write off the possibility that this team could, but at this moment in time, I think there are probably 2 or 3 areas that need addressing to make our strong contenders, at least. And to be strong contenders, realistically, you need 2 to 3 players for every single position. You need a starter, you need a really, really good backup, and then maybe someone younger that's coming through, can learn off both of them and can come on and get minutes off of the bench. And at this moment in time, we have 2 goalkeepers. The briefing from the club is that Robert Sanchez is the number 1, and that's unlikely to change this season. The club have actually stated that they believe that Robert Sanchez was an integral part for our making of Champions League qualification at the end of last season, and I won't debate that. I'd also say that, despite not debating it, I would debate that maybe we wouldn't have been in a scenario where we needed to go on a dream run to finish the season to get ourselves into Champions League positions without Robert Sanchez's contributions. But as for now, if it's Sanchez, then it's Sanchez, and I will pledge my allegiance and give him my full backing if it is him. And we'll get on to discussing that in the rest of the video. Then we need a solid defence, because with Levi Colwill out for the entire season, you'd probably say that we've lost our best centre-back. Now, there will be some that will argue that and will say that Fofana clears Levi Colwill as our best centre-back, but Fofana hasn't put a run together in the team in God knows how long. And whenever he comes back and plays, he does look class, but he doesn't play all that much, and we haven't seen him in any of the pre-season friendlies. We haven't seen him on the bench, which leads me to ask the question, where the fuck even is Wesley Fofana? Maybe I should stop swearing. Maybe that's why my YouTube video yesterday got restricted. But yeah, we haven't seen him play. Reece can't play every single game. I think he'll probably be prioritised for the bigger ones. And Cucurella needs a rest this season, hence the addition of Hato. So, now, below, what you can see is that in this formation, in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that despite the defence, the attack kind of sorts itself out. It's kind of all right, because in the 5 highlighted players that you can see now, right, they can all be rotated. They can all change between themselves in matches, whether that's an instruction directly given by Maresca or not. Maybe 1 or 2 comes in, maybe 1 less go out, but I think we're good. And I think that one thing that we've been banging on and on about, and this mostly comes down to the forward 4 that I've selected here. And as I say that, I've just realised that there wasn't 5 players selected, there were 6 players selected. Shows how bad I am at maths. But as the forward 4 that have been selected, very much interchangeable. One thing I've been banging on about with this front line, I believe that in certain matches we are going to have the ability to be flexible and adaptable, to be able to turn games on their head, pull off wins, break down low blocks, things like that. So I believe that in the likes of Neto, Esteval, Palmer, João Pedro, they're our strongest forward 4. Obviously, some of you might argue to have Palmer on the right instead of Neto. I'd have no problem with that. I put Neto there to give Reece the protection because Neto is an absolute workhorse. But does this prove that we have built ourselves a squad to compete? Well, I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure on that off the back of that. Because, see, if we were to make wholesale changes to our starting lineups like we did, for example, in the Conference League last season for certain Champions League games, believe me, there are some easier games at the start, then you could potentially look at doing an entire team swap, which is what we did in the Conference League so many times. But just quickly, do you want a chance to win 500 grand by using your football knowledge? Well, William Hill are offering you that chance with their brand new free-to-play game called Final One Standing. All you have to do each week is predict one team to win in that particular round of fixtures. But here's the difficult part. You can only pick one team each per season. So, for example, I am going to go for Nottingham Forest to beat Brentford on the first day because I think that that's a banker. And when that comes off, I survive, and therefore I have to prepare for who I think is going to win the following week. And this is completely free to enter. No admin fees, no gimmicks, and there are guaranteed winners. All you need to do is hit the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen and sign up to William Hill, where you can make your picks online or via the William Hill app. And then when you do that, don't forget to look out for the Final One Standing section in the app and place your pick for the first game week. I want to know in the comments section who you lot are picking in that first week. But remember, you must be 18 plus and living in the UK or Ireland to take part. Terms and conditions apply, and all of the terms are in the link below. And please always remember to gamble responsibly. Huge shout out to William Hill for sponsoring this episode. Let's get back into it. There were so many games when it was 11 for 11. And this season, I don't know if you can end up doing that. But you can end up with something that looks like this. As you can see, Jorgensen coming in, a Changpong coming in, Fofana, if he can be fit, coming in, and Trevor Chalobah staying in. Now, we'll get on to the players that have stayed in this lineup. Jarell Hato coming in, Romeo Lavia, another player that we would have to bank on him being fit and hope that he can be fit. But alongside him, Andre Santos, I think that's got a good balance between the ability to be defensive and the ability to operate just in front of the back three, which it will be a lot of the time when we go forward, and the ability to be a bit more creative, which Andre Santos obviously was last season. Now Cole Palmer stays in there. It's not because I feel that he should be indispensable. Whether he is indispensable or irreplaceable, or whether I feel that he should be, are two different things. But I don't feel that he should be. But for the sake of this lineup, he stays in there. We've got Tyreek George on the right. He can cut in on that left foot, as does Jamie Gittens like to do with Liam Delap. Now, I feel that with this lineup, it's definitely a weaker starting 11, but this is literally worst case scenario. And I've tried to make sure that what I've done here is only include players that we haven't been briefed are leaving. Now, Tyreek George could obviously leave, but it doesn't look like the club are actively looking to sell him. He's been given a squad number, which a lot of players haven't. And when you look at the likes of Axel Disasi, Benoit Badiashile, Renato Vega, they haven't been given squad numbers. They haven't been included on our website, I don't think. Realistically, despite me feeling like Nkunku or Nicholas Jackson could make this starting lineup stronger, I think that one of, if not both of them boys, are going to go this summer. But as you can see, without dipping into the pool of players that are being touted for moves, right, or being linked with us, we can more or less do an entire swap. We can more or less do an entire swap and still be able to field a really, really strong team. And the reason I say more or less is because I am reliant on injuries here. And I'll also read out a list of players to you in a minute that could all be sold, but I'm under the belief that maybe 2 or 3 of them aren't sold. And then maybe we see them come back into the lineup. And maybe the players that aren't sold are players that could directly benefit the first team of Chelsea. Because as much as we've deemed them surplus to requirements, and as much as I'm not going to use this video to have a debate with you over Ben Chilwell and Raheem Sterling, there are players that are available for sale that I think with the news of the injury to Levi Colwill could be players that could be important for us this season. And that's something that I'm going to get onto. But the reason that you can see Palmer and Chalobah highlighted in this lineup here is because they're kind of my 2 picks of players that can't really be taken out of this lineup. And I just mean sort of systematically can't be taken out. Because obviously, yes, you can swap Palmer for Esteval. You can swap Chalobah for Tosin Adarabioyo, for Fafana if he's fit. But it doesn't ignore the fact that, in my opinion, we're still 1 attacking player short and we're still 1 central defender short. And as much as you can say, oh, well, not every team is going to have 2 for 1 position. No, I'm sure not every team will. But I'm sure Liverpool will. And I'm sure Arsenal will, and I'm sure Man City will, and that's what I want to be competing against this season. I'm sure you lot are the same. So realistically, why am I not allowed to dream of the fact that we could potentially do the same? Now, obviously, if Xavi Simons comes in, then straight away, we've already deducted the need for an offensive signing. Straight away, because then we've got enough there. Although I don't rate him to the same level as Xavi Simons, even if Garnacho came in, we've got enough there. But I don't think we should sign them both, because if we sign them both, then have we got room to bring in a centre-back? Because the really weird thing that I'm hearing coming out of the club at the minute is that we would only bring in a centre-back if we were to sell Trevor Chalobah. And that makes absolutely no sense to me, because regardless of the whole pure profit thing, when you've got the likes of Benoit Badiashile, Axel Disasi and Renato Vega all up for sale, then what are you saying? Are you saying that you need to sell all 3 of them and then sell Trevor Chalobah, a 4th centre-back, this summer to just bring in 1? Is that what you're saying? Because you're not going for Virgil van Dijk, you know what I mean, in his prime for 90 odd million. There's a couple of centre-backs on this market right now that you can get for 40 million. And I don't believe that you need to sell 4 players to be able to get that one in. And if not, let's just keep Benoit Badiashile. Because personally, I've seen him have way more good games for Chelsea than Axel Disasi. And the logical thing would say that, you know, left-footed centre-back comes out the side in Levi Colwill. Left-footed centre-back is there with Badiashile, and Badiashile's had some shit games. Badiashile has been, I don't know, not as good as I thought he was going to be at the start. But as I say, he's been better than Axel Disasi, and when he's with a more proven centre-back partner, I've always thought he's done quite well. Now, the elephant in the room we're ignoring here is Renato Veiga, because Renato Veiga's a really good player, and Renato Veiga's a player that could do good things for us. But if he doesn't have the attitude and doesn't want to be here, then I don't want him here either. In a dream scenario, Wesley Fofana gets fit, he keeps fit and stays fit, and then I think between Trev, Tosin, Wesley Fofana, and do you know what? Badiashile in there as well. Many people telling me that Hato will play more as a centre-back. Obviously, I'm open to seeing that. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And Josh Changpong, who I think is the absolute bollocks. If that dream scenario unfolded, with them all being fit and available, then I still think we're going to be alright. I still think we're alright to be able to push up the higher end of the table. But is it enough in terms of quality rather than just quantity? Well, the briefings are that we're still in for Xavi Simons, we're still in for Garnacho, and the more I think about this, the more I'm starting to think that Garnacho is just a smoke screen. I think that Garnacho might have been the plan the whole time, and maybe they were just keeping us on board by talking about Xavi Simons, possibly. It now looks like City might rival us for Xavi Simons. Apparently Xavi Simons is still interested in the Chelsea move, and his eggs, to quote Love Island, are in Chelsea's basket. However, I do just think the Garnacho one's more likely, because I think that Man United want to sell him. He doesn't suit the system. He wants to come to Chelsea. He needs to go. There's the Argentinian link up with Enzo Fernandez. There's the South American link up with our entire front line, barring Cole Palmer. And also, if I am Garnacho, I'm obviously going to want to come to Chelsea Football Club after I saw how Jadon Sancho did last season. I think that, look at Jadon Sancho, what was he, our top 3 assisters, I think it'd be Cole Palmer and Enzo ahead of him, and then Jadon Sancho, I'm sure, got like 8 or 9 assists for Chelsea last season. He didn't even start all that many big games, and in the bigger games, that was when he was popping up. So Garnacho will look at a Jadon Sancho and he'll think, well, if he was outcast and he was put to the side at Man United, maybe I could do the same thing. Xavi Simons might look at Chelsea and might go, do you know what, that's a more exciting project. And let's be honest, I think at this moment in time, Chelsea is a more exciting project than Manchester City. One thing you can guarantee with Chelsea is wherever we finish this season, at the start of the 26-27 season, there's no chance we're going to have a points deduction. There's no chance that we're going to be in the Championship. And there is that chance with Manchester City. So I think that Chelsea's definitely a more exciting project. Now, obviously, I've watched loads of Garnacho playing for Man United. When we used to do the kickoff, we used to cover Man United games week in, week out. And that was when he was kind of prime Garnacho, yeah? It was before this latest season where he wasn't as good. And do you know what? I've often felt like he's looked like the most exciting player on the pitch for Man United. In other moments, I've felt like he's looked selfish, disinterested, and like a player who didn't have the best attitude. And I could be wrong on all of this, by the way, because a lot of people felt that about Jadon Sancho, and Jadon Sancho obviously came over and did really well. But there are a lot of things that concern me about Garnacho. The vaping picture. I mean, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that in life, let alone a fan of that in my wingers, in my footballers that I want absolutely running at defenders for 90 minutes every single week, and then once again in the Champions League on Wednesday nights. But I don't know, that's just my perception from what we're being told. I don't know. I just feel like the Xavi Simons one's one that is less likely to fail, in all honesty. I mean, if Garnacho failed and we took him on the cheap, then I'm sure we could get the same amount of money back, at least. That would be one good thing. I think that a foreign club, maybe an Italian club, would come in for Garnacho, still young, so I think that we could make our money back on him, much like we have on many other players. But I think from a ability, versatility standpoint, Xavi Simons obviously works a lot better. And if RB Leipzig are interested in Nkunku, which it's being reported, then maybe that could be one that happened. But what I want to know is, after winning the Club World Cup and all the financial sort of lucrative gains that came with that, after bringing in, over 130 million in player sales, it might be more than that, it might be over 150 million, you tell me. Even if we were only to move on, let's say 2 or 3 out of Sterling, Chilwell, Kane Chukwuemeka, Alfie Gilchrist, Axel Disasi, Nicholas Jackson, Nkunku or Datro Fofana, how can we not afford a centre-back? How can we not afford one? Are we saying that the Xavi Simons and Garnacho deals are dependent on us moving these lot on? And if they are, I don't think Fabrizio Romano would be reporting it every 2 seconds as if it was close, unless it just gets him loads of traction. Maybe it is. Because there are links at the moment with centre-backs, aren't there? So why are we hearing Garnacho and Xavi Simons way more than we're hearing centre-backs, when in my opinion, we only really need Xavi Simons? So when you look at the likes of Guehi, who could be a realistic option, Konate, we're hearing that. I think that's a less realistic option. I think that's a way less realistic option. Look at the way that Arne Slot spoke about Chelsea last season, having, I think, recorded a win over us. Did they beat us or did they draw against us? I think it was a win they got over us and then losing to us at Stamford Bridge. He said that Chelsea were one of the best teams that were in the league. And I don't think any manager out of 20 in the Premier League, and every single one that gets sacked and hired and fired will say that they believe that Chelsea are weaker this season than they were last season. So if Arne Slot rated us last season, he's not going to give us Konate. No matter what sort of business Liverpool have been doing, no matter how long he has left on his contract. Because, to be honest, if you look at Real Madrid centre-backs at this moment in time, Konate could go there next season. Link back up with Trent. So, Konate could go there, and I don't think they're likely to sell to a rival, especially a rival that could come and take a league title off them this year, potentially, right? So, I think that Guehi is the more obvious option, and I think that Crystal Palace would cash in on him now. He can agree a deal with anyone within 6 months, and as well, Crystal Palace failed in their bid to go into the Europa League, right? So, if they win the Conference League this season, the best they can get is the Europa League. But if they're in the Europa League, there's financial gain that can come with that. And obviously, they could have had a chance at getting themselves in the Champions League, which sounds mad for Palace. But then they might want to keep hold of Guehi. And if they were to achieve something big, who knows? Maybe he signs a contract with them. But because of their demotion to the Conference League, I think that we've got a chance of getting Guehi if we went in for him. For what? I mean, around 40 mil, something like that. I mean, the thing's this, right? If Hato can come in and smash it at centre-back and left-back, and we can get lucky with injuries, no major ones happening to new players, and the likes of Fofana and Lavia staying fit, then we could be all right. But due to us not living in an ideal world, I think that we have to put a contingency plan in place that we do get injuries and that these players don't stay fit, because that's the more realistic way of looking at things. And you lot might label me as being really simple and unrealistic for saying this, but I've been looking at the transfer gossip this morning, and I think that we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Not even sign a defender. Go and get Xavi Simons, because I do want him. But I just think we should drop the 20-odd mil on Donnarumma. Who agrees with me here? Is no one here in the same boat as me? Donnarumma's 26 years old. He only turned it in February. This boy is the man. Like, I still rate Donnarumma easily as a top 5 goalkeeper in the world. And I don't think many of you put Sanchez as a top 20 goalkeeper in the world. And I don't want to use this opportunity to speak badly about a man who has done good things for the club. And I believe that the past is the past and things should be left in the past. So I rate him on what's happening now. And what's happening now is good for Robert Sanchez. But if you think that he's better than Donnarumma, then you need putting in an asylum. Donnarumma is the man. 20-odd mil could seal his signature. Right? And this is the year before a World Cup. And that means that every single big name player who might be in an awkward situation right now will want to be getting a move. And you look and say, well, hold on. Donnarumma's wages, they're twice the wages, if not more, than Mike Maignan. Yes, there's a reason for that. It's because he's twice the player. I'm sorry, he's twice the player. And before you give me the old bullshit of, playing out from the back, stuff like that, just fuck off. Don't even do that. Who makes more mistakes playing out from the back? Robert Sanchez, Philip Jorgensen even, or Donnarumma? I would say both of the ones that are right now signed to Chelsea Football Club make more mistakes playing out from the back. And not only that, right? Who are you more confident saves a penalty? Donnarumma. Who are you less confident in if you are an opposition player and you go through one-on-one on goal with? I think you're less confident against Donnarumma. So, there you go. Who makes more match-winning saves over the course of a season? Donnarumma. You know what I mean? Who would be considered a top 3 or 4 goalkeeper in the league straight away? Donnarumma. And at 26 years old, you've got a goalkeeper who is going to be with you for the best part of a decade, and his attributes aren't going to alter all that much because he's not a ball-playing goalkeeper. So, if we could have him for 10 years by goalie standards, then why not get him? Because you lot don't think that Nicholas Jackson, you lot don't think that Robert Sanchez is going to be our goalkeeper in 10 years. But some of you might think Donnarumma could be. Some of you might think he could be. So I think he's an investment. Low fee, and you're hearing high wages, but not as high as earlier reported. It's been reported this week that Man United can't do the deal because the wages are looking to be about 175 grand. Well, give him 175 grand. I know that I think we pay less than 100 in weekly wages to the likes of Robert Sanchez and Philip Jorgensen combined. But what I'm saying is Donnarumma levels us up massively and then takes away the need to even sign a centre-back probably. Because he helps us just as much as the new centre-back does. So if it was 170 grand and you got the likes of Sterling on the books and Chilwell on the books who, you know, that's the best part of 400 grand a week or more. No, $500,000 a week if you combine both of their 2 wages. If you can just get them off the book, then go out and get a Donnarumma. I mean, yeah. I personally feel that if you've got a Donnarumma, then you don't need to go for a Guehi, a Bramthwaite, a Canate, or anything like that, because he'll probably save you just as many goals as those defenders will, in my opinion. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm deluded. Chelsea fans, please let me know. 5-year contract, call it 180 grand a week. Would you have Donnarumma? Because I think he could be a difference maker. I think Xavi Simons and Donnarumma are the 2 players that take this team from being a very, very exciting team that I would not rule out of winning a cup, including the Champions League, to legit title contenders. People, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Smack a like on the video for me right now. Do it as a favour. Even if you don't like everything I've just said, it's my birthday, so hit a like on the video. And I will see you all in the next one.